Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
TFG Fantasy Cricket is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like the Rediscovery Podcast, where Ambika and Hoshner looks back at their travel experience and journey across India.
You're listening to TFG Fantasy Cricket.
Hello everybody, welcome to the epic episode of Indo-Pak Fantasy Cricket.
Epic, everything is happening off the ground.
Off the ground. As expected, Indo-Pak clash will draw a lot of reactions from various sections of the society, I must say. Suddenly you will see politicians saying something, you will see Bollywood actors getting involved, you will see a lot of armchair pundits. जिसको गेम से लेना देना भी नहीं है. They want to be a part of this grand occasion. It's almost like a war, CP. Nobody cares. No, realistically speaking, nobody knows, even you and I, what is happening in the border. क्या tension है, क्या हो रहा है, क्या attacks है, we don't know. But, to be very, very frank, not many people are even bothered. Such is the state. But you talk about an Indo-Pak clash, 22 yards ka game, the whole world is talking about it.
Yeah, I know. I wish it was, the fever was so high like any other tournament match where India plays Pakistan. But unfortunately, even if you look at today's papers with Ramchandra Guha writing that letter, and there's not even a single analysis of strengths versus weakness of India versus Pakistan, that build-up that you find. It's a very unfortunate thing. I can't find a better word, that this Kumble-Virat clash had to come out right now.
Yeah.
And the Indo-Pak match is the first one we are playing. And Ramchandra Guha resigned and he put out this letter and is picked on everyone who matters in Indian cricket, players especially. So the fact remains that you are getting onto the ground under the huge shadow of this problem which is affecting the Indian team. Now, I'm also a believer that these things don't matter on the ground. These players have seen enough and worse. So, and especially after the advent of T20, handling pressure is like child's play for the top players. So the quality of cricket is not going to get affected. That's not going to be on their minds when they enter the field. There's no doubt about that. And of course, when we play fantasy, I don't think that should be the concern of anything. But just making a broad comment that this match could have been the match. And of course, it is an important match. Everyone will look at it. But now it's taken different dimensions. And Virat Kohli is going to face, if there was any pressure of him leading the ODI team in the Champions Trophy, the first ICC trophy that he's entering as captain and also as defending champions, this is just additional pressure on him for no reason. I mean, right now it's all talk about Virat versus Kumble and going out there and proving. God forbid if we lose this match. I mean, Virat will be nailed for no reason, because you can't pick on one match and in a tournament opener, in conditions in England, you never know how the weather plays a part. So, but it's going to be a very absorbing match. There's no doubt about it, because though we talk about the Indian team as really good on paper, one of the best teams to leave the shows, defending champions, everything, you can't underestimate the Pakistan team. They might not have been performing very well, but just like we get into a different zone when you're playing Pakistan, the same happens out there.
Actually, there has been a lot said. Interesting, we've never heard these comments from former cricketers, Harbhajan Singh, Mohammad Azharuddin, and from Pakistan we had Amir Sohail. So these guys have been voicing their opinion, and they don't want this clash to go ahead. Now we all know what's happening between the two nations, and the Indian government not letting the BCCI arrange for a bilateral series between Pakistan. And then Amir Sohail had to come out and say, why is it that only during the ICC tournaments India has to play Pakistan? Is it because of the money that's riding? Is it because of I don't know what all is at stake. And surprisingly, even Azharuddin and Harbhajan said the same thing. They said, we agree, if you don't want to keep any relations with Pakistan, why play cricket? You don't want to play bilateral series? Okay, no problem. So don't even play the ICC tournaments. Why are you doing it? If you're so passionate about your country, I mean, hell with 2 points. Who cares? Something what Australia did in 96. Something what the West Indies did. So why can't India take a leaf out of... Now I know this discussion demands another podcast in itself.
We can talk for a year.
Exactly.
And nothing will happen.
Yes.
Yeah,
but, okay, I need to come back to fantasy. But
yeah,
I can
more
tell you...
from reality.
Yes.
Okay.
I can tell you with experience, if you're playing Indo-Pak fantasy cricket, yes, you want India to win. You want Indian players to do well. But deep down... secretly, not many people are going to be vocal about this, but they'll say, I want 25 from Hafiz, I want 2 wickets from Mohammad Amir, 2 catches from Shoaib Malik. Ye chalta rehta hai CP.
No, that's so you have to be dispassionate about it. There's no doubt about it. You watch the match and cheer for India, but when you're choosing a team, you choose the team, put your money in and forget about it. Then,
absolutely.
Then the players have to perform.
Yes.
And then it's not whether it's Indo-Pak or Australia, New Zealand or Afghanistan, West Indies. You have done your job, then you cheer the team that you want. You want India to
yes.
win. What do you say, the cherry on the cake is like India wins and your fantasy team performs, India wins, but even the Pakistan players whom you picked in the fantasy team perform and give you those points. So it might not always work like that.
And I can tell you a few fours, a few lusty blows from Babar Azam or from Shoaib Malik, Imad Wasim, very secretly Indian fanatics will be cheering. That is if they are playing fantasy cricket. I'm telling you, ye hone hi wala hai.
Cheering, probably choice of words, but
CP, if you pick Babar Azam in your team, and if you're rank number 3, and if rank 1 and 2 doesn't have Babar Azam, and if he gets a 40, wouldn't you be delighted?
No, I don't mind him getting 100,
yes.
But at the end of the 50th or the end of the 100th over, India should have won. So
yes.
Okay.
Yes. And, but a word of caution.
It's like you going to any match and you are cheering one team. You want an exciting contest. You want it, let's say an IPL match. You want it to be the result to be in the last ball. Your last ball 4 runs chahiye and your Dhoni hits a 6 and you're very happy.
It's
great
a
match.
typical filmy finish.
Absolutely. So सबको वही चाहिए, ठीक है. तो but in
मैं
fantasy,
आपको बता दूं word of caution. I know a lot of people might actually not play this match because of obvious reasons. But for those who want to play, bias side में रखो. Now the rule says you can only pick a maximum of 7 from one team. I understand majority of you would pick 7 straight away, 7 players from the Indian team. What we have done with our team is 6 and 5. 6 from India, 5 from Pakistan. Why have we done that? Now, the Indian team, there is absolutely no clarity on the playing 11. Normally, with the Indian team, you get a hint, especially going into a major tournament, the ICC event. You at least know the 12 players who are likely to start. But given what has happened in the last week or so, the internal issues, warm-up games, injuries, I have zero clarity. CP, I think with assurance, इतना मैं बोल सकता हूँ युवराज सिंह नहीं खेलेगा. But otherwise, I mean, Dinesh Karthik, Hardik Pandya.
He wouldn't be in the fantasy 11.
Can you come up with your playing 11, CP?
See, right now I think in such a scenario, it's best to do what we have done with the 11. You pick the sure shot guys. Basically, what is the difference? It's whether you should have been a 7-4 combination or a 6-5 combination.
Yeah.
We have gone with a 6-5 combination, which is our first rule always, that all 11 from the fantasy should be on the ground.
We did that in the first match, England versus Bangladesh. We got all our playing 11. Yesterday's match, Australia and New Zealand also. So it is very, very important. Now, Australia made a very funny move by dropping Chris Lynn.
Yeah.
Because they had to make way for Henry Case. No doubt usko to drop karna hi nahi tha. But I was surprised they played Hastings.
Yeah.
Why couldn't... And Zampa.
Huh.
So I explained why we didn't want to pick Zampa. Agar hum lete to hum phas jate. So you have to play the conditions. You also should read the captain's psyche. Steven Smith, he must have seen there was some grass on the wicket early in the morning, overcast conditions. No brainer, right? CP straight away 4 paces.
Absolutely.
So I expect similar conditions in Pakistan, in Birmingham. And Pakistan का strength क्या है? Pace bowling. India का strength क्या है? Bowling भी इस बार. and the way all these bowlers have operated. Jasprit Bumrah 4 wickets. Shami picked up 3 against New Zealand. Completely opened up Martin Guptill, Luke Ronchi and Kane Williamson. Then Umesh Yadav bowled a brilliant spell against Bangladesh. Bhuvaneshwar, both matches 5 wickets. So whom do you drop? What do you do, CP?
No, you see, you naturally you can't pick everyone in the team. So going by, like we said, past performance, short-term past performance, plus surety that they'll be in the playing 11. So those are the factors that you have to take into consideration. Now, Jasprit, Bhuvi, Umesh, Shami, Jasprit and Bhuvi walk into the team. There's no doubt about it. I mean, because in these 4, the pecking order is Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Jasprit, given England, given their performance, given IPL. So many factors point towards them. So when you say you give 8 out of 10 to these two, 7 out of 10 to Umesh and 6 out of 10 to Shami. So naturally, when you have to pick any 2 out of these 4, these are the 2 which walk in.
I completely agree. In fact, Bhuvneshwar, like you said, walks in. Jasprit Bumrah also. I was talking to my brother yesterday and he said...
I'll interrupt.
Yeah.
You pick Pat Cummins and Stark and Hazelwood take 6 wickets. I mean,
yes.
So exactly. So you go by Hazelwood. You would never 2 wicket le leta, 6 wickets. Exactly.
6.
So it also
and Stark didn't get a single wicket.
Exactly. So that's how the game plays, and Hazelwood happened to bowl at the right moment when Kiwis wanted to.
Let's be honest. New Zealand batted poorly.
Yeah,
in fact, they batted worse than Bangladesh. They couldn't finish off.
Yeah, but that's the nature of the game. Why you get the middle of the bat, it's a 6. Otherwise, it's a catch. So that's what happened. 4 guys tried to increase the run rate, and it didn't work. So, who would have thought Luke Ronchi would perform? Exactly.
There were doubts whether he would play in the first place. But that's cricket.
So given all this, you have to ensure that you put together 11 which first of all gets on the field.
Yeah.
Second, by past performance and by the nature of the pitch as well as the conditions you're playing, are likely to perform the best. Those are the range that you put in and the odds that you pick them on. That's
exactly.
Yeah.
I was reading some stuff on social media and the debate. It's interesting. Always when India used to play Pakistan, the debate was apna 6 ya 7 batsmen kaun hai. Surprisingly, and it's good, CP, now people are talking about 4 bowlers kaun rahega. It's so fascinating to see. And there were talks that Bumrah could be the one to warm the bench. For me, makes no sense. Purely because, let's say the conditions are not conducive and India ends up bowling first. Who is the best bowler in the death overs today? One of the best, I can say. Jasprit Bumrah by a long shot. So how do you drop Jasprit? If there is swing on offer, can you drop a Shami and a Bhuvaneshwar?
See if you get
let me ask you, who would be the one bowler to miss out? Let's say India plays only 3 pacers, considering they want to play Hardik Pandya, who can give you the seam-up option.
Who will be Shami? It would be Shami. There's no doubt about it.
And why?
Why? Because Umesh Yadav, Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Jasprit walk in. So it's picking the best of. So there are some equals, but you know that Shami hasn't played much in the IPL. These 3 have been in the groove.
And Shami can get injured.
Exactly.
We have seen him walking off the field, and that's a loss.
Yeah.
If a premier bowler is only going to bowl 4 or 5 overs, I'm not saying it will happen, but history is not on Shami's side.
Yeah.
So that's a fair call. So we're done with the bowling now. Let's talk about India's glorious batting order. CP, कौन जाएगा?
India का problem है कि there has never, I think, been a time when India's batting on paper hasn't been glorious.
Absolutely.
So, it's like you have 5 top class batsmen of the world always in the Indian team
Yes.
at any point,
Any era.
any era.
Yeah.
But वो ground पे उतरता है तो बहुत problem हो जाता है.
Oh, bilkul. And it's a high pressure game.
Yeah.
And Pakistan's bowling is very, very formidable. A war of words. Interesting, like you said, I think it makes a lot of sense. Internal battles हम लड़ रहे हैं. Okay? So we are not getting into this war of words with Pakistan. But the Pakistanis are sensing, this is their opportunity. All is probably not too well in the Indian camp. And they are making all those comments. Junaid Khan said, I've got Virat Kohli's number. I can open him up. Mohammad Amir talking about how the conditions are going to be in Pakistan's favor. And our guys, and now this is a big surprise, you look at both teams on paper, India is a much it's a superior team as compared to Pakistan. Yet we have been very quiet. Nothing at all from our side. Very, very surprising, CP.
Probably, see, there could be 2 reasons to it. One, it's a calculated strategy.
Come on, we have been all over Pakistan in ICC events. अभी क्या calculation करना है? क्या strategy है अभी तो?
नहीं कुछ नहीं. आप ground पे जाओ, run score करो. It doesn't matter. See all this. See the problem with all. All this. My analysis of all this is. See all this worked 10 years ago, but now everybody knows that each comment is made after approval from the board,
from the media manager.
It's all calculated. So you don't. So if you read a column by, let's say, Ricky Ponding today on the Indo-Pak match, you can probably analyze why he said certain things.
Yes,
he's trying to get into the mind of
and
Virat
he's an
Kohli.
outsider.
He's an outsider, but still. Everybody has. So like Gavaskar writing something, you know why he's saying that. So the problem is all this doesn't matter. As we have seen, once you get on the ground, the ball and the bat, they have to do the things.
That's it.
Yeah. What will get on your mind is if 2 quick wickets go.
Yeah.
Okay. If Dhawan and Virat are back in the pavilion 20 for 2, then it is how, whether it's a Rohit Sharma, Ajinkya Rahane, Hardik Pandya, Dhoni, anybody else following Kedar, then the game matters. Then it doesn't matter what you said before the match.
I agree.
It's absolutely useless.
I agree.
Yeah. So it's and now
and that's where I think Dhoni made a fine point after we beat Pakistan last year. And he said, if not today, 10 साल के बाद एक दिन हम पाकिस्तान के साथ शायद हार जाएंगे.
Yeah.
So ये सब बातें क्यों? And he said the same thing, exactly what you explained. It's a game of bat and ball. We go out there as professionals. Pakistan, West Indies, Australia, we don't care. We go out there to win, and we do the basics right. The results will fall. So it's a very simple.
I think there's only one guy in Indian team going out with huge pressure tomorrow, and it's Virat Kohli. And he has only added on to the pressure. One, he hasn't performed well in the Australia series.
Number 2, a very dry IPL.
Dry is the understatement.
Okay.
It was like, for Virat Kohli, it is a disaster. The IPL was a disaster.
Compared to what he did in 2016.
Compared to what Virat Kohli is. Forget
Forget
about 2016, 2013.
Number 3, England has not been a happy hunting country. So,
Number 4, Joe Root and Kane Williamson have performed.
They have made a statement.
They have made a statement. Steve Smith, if he had the innings, probably would have. You'd never know. So he didn't have to prove it.
So it's all on Virat Kohli.
And
the pressure increases. Shane Warne said.
And then he has this fight with Kumble going on. He has this thing about wanting to run the team the way he likes.
Yeah.
I really don't know whether, from seeing the last 2 matches in England, and you're talking about these bowling conditions, Bangladesh has scored over 300.
Yeah.
New Zealand
almost
would have hit 350. Yeah, if those 3-4 wickets hadn't fallen in that. So I don't see any purchase for the bowlers out there. It was almost like a normal bowling attack. Even when you see the Australians coming in and bowling, there's nothing in it for them.
Yeah,
they were getting hammered. Aram se you were scoring 6-7 over
without reckless shots.
So now if you go in with the 6 bowlers, are you underplaying yourself? If, like I said, if Virat and one of the openers gets back into the hut within the first 10 overs, you suddenly are looking at 5 all-rounders coming under Dhoni. It's like Jadeja, Ashwin, Kedar
I was coming
Jadhav.
to that. All of a sudden, the middle order looks very wobbly.
Absolutely.
Now, MS Dhoni is not the MS Dhoni from 2012 or 2013 or 14. We all understand with age, and he spent so many years in the game of cricket. He is reliable. But like you said, if India is 20 for 2 or 50 for 3, MS Dhoni, and then who? Jadhav, Jadeja, Ashwin, Hardik Pandya.
Then you will get your 300. MS will do 6 runs, 100 ka strike rate he will manage. At 30 runs, 50, he will keep going at that.
And no fuss.
No fuss. He will, but is 300 enough?
I think against Pakistan 300 is enough. I genuinely feel,
now
and
again,
I'll tell you why. We'll talk about Pakistan.
Yeah.
But if you look at our team, I've picked Shikhar Dhawan for 2 reasons. One is good IPL runs in the warm-up match. He's done well in England. In 2013, he was our batsman of the tournament, and he's sure to play. So it's a given he's going to open, and I have him in my team. Virat Kohli is an automatic choice. Our captain, all the pressure. But if you look at this fantasy team that we have made, India-Pakistan, whom do you pick as a captain or even vice captain? Not too many options, because there is a lot of, I would say, uncertainty. Virat Kohli, I understand, has not been in the greatest of nick, but you look at his average, you look at his numbers against Pakistan, big match player. I know he could go out for a 0, he could be gone for a single digit figure, somebody like a Junaid Khan, Wahab Riaz, I don't know, but I just feel purely on reputation, and because there is no other option, like I said, I'm picking Virat Kohli. Vice captain MS Dhoni, like you said, 80-90 ka strike rate is good enough, because he's that guy who's going to be our backbone. I strongly believe. Yes, Virat is there.
He's going to anchor the innings.
He's going to anchor the innings. And we don't have to talk about his ability with the gloves. He's going to get a stumping here, a catch there. So, very, very handy. And my advice to you would be, don't pick anybody from Pakistan, especially the batsmen, because you cannot rely. Yes, Shoaib Malik has a tremendous record against India. If you have been watching India-Pakistan cricket for almost 15 years now, you would know Shoaib has been a thorn in our flesh. So is the case with Mohammad Hafiz, who had a wonderful tour of the West Indies with bat and ball. So he's going to be there. And Babar Azam, who arguably is their best batsman. We have been talking about Babar for almost a year and a bit now. His performance, both home and away. When I say home, I'm talking about UAE, obviously. So there is a lot of class, but can you rely on them? You have to pick 4 at any cost from Pakistan. And I think I've done my best in picking these 3 guys, plus the 2 bowlers in Junaid and Mohammad Amir. Whether there is going to be anything on offer for these 2, I don't know. But if I have to pick 2 bowlers from Pakistan, it has to be the left-arm seamers in Amir and Junaid Khan CP.
Yeah, I think a well-balanced team. Of course, you can always debate 1 or 2 players here and there. But with Dhoni, Dhawan and Virat and Jadeja being...
very integral part of so, any fantasy team.
Yeah.
Theories that if India play 4 seamers with Hardik Pandya, 1 spinner has to be on the bench. Who will that be? It has to be Ashwin. Now, I don't think it will happen. But if such is the case, it has to be Ashwin and not Jadeja. Because when there is nothing on offer for the spinners, Jadeja, with his variations in pace, with the angle that he creates, is still a champion bowler. Ashwin, no response. You cannot expect him to be amongst the wickets. Number 2, in the field, he's pretty dismal. Whereas Jadeja, cover point, mid-wicket, long on, bullet throw, a catch here, a run out there, and with the bat also. He's a complete all-round package. And I think you have to pick him.
In the scenario that... So we have a scenario where Dhawan and Virat can, put on the runs, and then the guys coming down the order just have to finish off. Or, add on to the total if you're batting first. If Dhawan, Virat get
going
out, get out, then it's a Dhoni and Jadeja, which would,
yes,
you can bank on to hang around there, score the runs, get. So in that scenario, this kind of a 11 is what you should bet on.
Yes, and You talk about the captain. I've already explained choices, Dhoni and Virat Kohli. Can you just tell me the two batsmen who are likely to be benched? I think Ajinkya Rahane will get a raw deal once again, and Yuvraj Singh hasn't looked in great shape. We saw I want to talk about this, but not too sure it's the right place. They shouldn't be exposing anything that happens in the net, CP. These days, cameras follow you pretty much everywhere. Even when you are inside the bathroom, you have to be careful ki kya kar raha hu main. So such is the case. Yesterday they were showing how Yuvraj was struggling against short bowling. Now this was Sanjay Bangar bowling to him. Imagine, you can reach into it. You can get so many cues. Okay, he's not comfortable, and then he lost his bat. Then he had to call for a chest guard. Now you mentally bhai ye pange mein hai. So why? I just don't understand. Itna bhi technology, why? Why do you have to chase a player or a team?
So probably they showed all that with the assurance that he won't be in the playing 11.
Yeah.
So the Pakis can have a good look at it, but doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
So, yeah.
I think Kedar Jadhav might also be benched, and Dinesh Karthik, because of his wonderful 90, might get the nod.
Yeah, Dinesh, I think, is again who has got a raw deal always as.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I think that 90 was very timely.
Timely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see.
So before we wrap up, your call. I think India easily. And I say easy.
See, easily only if in the Pak batsmen mess it up.
And they will.
Yeah. So that's the only thing that's worrying me on the Pakistan side. If those batsmen mess it up, then it's no game. It's like simple.
I think if we get 280, 300 on the board, I'm sure we'll get more. We could only lose if we chase CP. Because like you said, chasing 270, 280, if we are 20 for 2 with their bowling lineup, you never know.
Yeah. But then chasing 270, 280 means their batsmen have to do well. So
yes.
Yeah. So
that is
that's
the biggest challenge.
The key thing is whether their batsmen can either chase or put up a score.
Absolutely.
So it's nothing else. So if that happens, then there's a game on. Otherwise, it's a one-sided.
Only if the heavens don't open up.
Oh, to yaar chodo abhi. You can't the ECB doesn't know heavens open up. I mean, Australia knew, or like we say, Australia escaped big time. It's like.
Yes.
But then you saying escape big time, the match is not over yet, so you don't know what could have happened.
They still had Maxwell,
Head,
absolutely,
and
Wade and Steven Smith.
So. So you never know. And nowadays an average. Of
and
7
Stark,
and all.
Cummins, they all can bat.
Yeah, and an average of 7 chasing and all doesn't even bother anybody nowadays. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's it, guys. Good luck to everybody. Enjoy the match and
enjoy the match. Cheer for India.
Yeah,
but
cheer
put
for
up
India.
a good team.
Hopefully, our fantasy team does
well. And don't follow the team through the match. Just
it will add to your anxiety.
Exactly.
Anyway, so you know where to catch us on Twitter, TFG Fantasy 11, on Facebook, TFG Fantasy Pundit. We are there on our website, our columns, regular intervals, thefangarage.com. You click on Fantasy Cricket and you will see all the columns appearing. Good luck once again and have a great Sunday. Cheers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Sorry to say, but there's been a slight delay due to the apocalypse having suddenly begun. As you can see, there's death, destruction, and chaos taking place all around us. But don't you worry, food and drinks will be served shortly, and I would recommend checking out
IVM Podcasts
to get some of your favorite Indian podcasts. We'll keep you going till this whole thing blows over. Thank you.